Number 1. This 1949 Ford Anglia Street Rod, currently listed at $13,500 in Shallotte, North Carolina, is a heavily modified custom build that blends compact British Ford styling with full American hot rod performance, creating a unique and aggressive street machine with significant investment already completed. The Ford Anglia, originally produced by Ford Motor Company for the UK market, is known for its small size, lightweight body, and distinctive pre-war-inspired styling. While stock Anglias were modest economy cars, they became extremely popular in the hot rod and drag racing communities due to their lightweight construction and strong customization potential. This particular example takes that foundation and transforms it into a high-powered street rod. At the heart of the build is a NASCAR-built 388 cubic inch V8 engine, a high-performance racing-style motor designed for strong horsepower output and durability under demanding conditions. Built with roller components and aluminum cylinder heads, the engine setup is clearly oriented toward performance rather than casual cruising. Paired with MSD ignition components, the system is designed for reliable spark delivery and high RPM operation, giving the car a strong and responsive performance character. Power is delivered through a fully built 400 automatic transmission, another performance-oriented component capable of handling significant torque. This combination of race-inspired engine and reinforced transmission positions the Anglia firmly in the high-performance street rod category, rather than a mild custom or restoration. The vehicle also features a custom cooling system with electric fans, which is essential for managing heat generated by a high-output V8 in a compact engine bay. Proper cooling is especially important in heavily modified cars, where engine performance upgrades often produce significantly more thermal load than stock configurations. Visually, the car maintains its steel body with a fiberglass nose, a common modification in drag and street rod builds designed to reduce weight and improve front-end serviceability. The burgundy exterior gives the car a deep, classic hot rod appearance, while the compact proportions of the Anglia body create a distinctive and instantly recognizable silhouette. Inside, the build continues its performance meets custom theme. The interior is described as fully finished, featuring a complete custom layout with a digital dash, stereo system, and power windows. A digital instrument cluster is a modern upgrade that replaces traditional analog gauges with more precise and customizable readouts, often used in high-end builds to monitor engine performance more effectively. The inclusion of a full interior setup with upgraded electronics and comfort features suggests that this Anglia is intended not just as a race-inspired build, but as a street-driven custom car capable of regular use. The presence of power windows and a stereo system further supports this balance between performance and usability. According to the seller, the car also includes additional extras and components, indicating that parts and supporting equipment may accompany the sale. This can be particularly valuable in custom builds, where sourcing matching components can sometimes be difficult or expensive. The vehicle carries a clean North Carolina title, which is an important detail for a heavily modified classic, as title clarity can significantly impact ease of registration and future resale value. The seller also notes that the build represents a substantial investment, reportedly exceeding $40,000 in total build cost, which places the asking price of $13,500 in a notably lower range relative to the claimed investment. This kind of pricing situation is common in estate or urgent sale scenarios, where the seller prioritizes quick transfer over recovering full build costs. The listing also indicates that the owner has been in possession of the car for over 2 decades before health issues led to its sale, suggesting a long-term, enthusiast-driven ownership history. For enthusiasts, this Anglia represents a highly specialized build that blends British compact car design with American NASCAR-level performance engineering. It is not a traditional restoration or mild custom. It is a full street rod conversion designed to deliver strong acceleration, modern electronics, and a unique visual presence. In the end, this 1949 Ford Anglia Street Rod is far more than a modified compact car. It is a high-performance custom machine that combines racing-grade power, extensive fabrication work, and modern digital systems, resulting in a one-of-a-kind street rod offered at a price significantly below its reported build investment. Number 2. This 1936 Ford 5-window coupe, currently listed at $31,500 and located in Athens, Tennessee, is a classic pre-war hot rod that blends timeless American design with practical modern upgrades, creating a comfortable and usable vintage cruiser with true old-school character. The 1936 Ford Coupe is one of the most iconic body styles from the early hot rod era. Its rounded fenders, sloping roofline, and distinctive grille give it a strong presence that immediately stands out among pre-war vehicles. The 5-window configuration is especially desirable among collectors and builders because it offers a cleaner, more balanced profile and a sportier coupe appearance. Finished in burgundy with a gray interior, this example maintains a classic custom look that fits perfectly with its era while still feeling personal and upgraded. The car is described as having decent metallic paint and an all-metal body, which is an important detail in a market where many older builds rely on fiberglass replacements or heavy filler work. An all-metal construction helps preserve authenticity and long-term value. Under the hood sits a Ford 302 cubic inch V8 engine, a widely respected and reliable power plant in the classic car world. Known for its smooth operation and strong aftermarket support, the 302 provides a significant performance upgrade over the original engine, while maintaining everyday drivability. The seller notes that it runs sweet, suggesting a well-sorted and dependable setup. Power is delivered through an automatic transmission that shifts properly, making the car easy to drive even in modern traffic conditions. This combination of V8 power and automatic transmission transforms what was originally a pre-war manual driving experience into a relaxed cruiser suitable for longer drives and casual enjoyment. One of the standout features of this build is the inclusion of air conditioning. In a vehicle originally designed long before modern comfort systems existed, this upgrade significantly improves usability, especially in warmer climates. Combined with a functioning radio, the car offers a level of convenience rarely found in vintage 1930s vehicles. The braking and steering systems have also been modernized. The addition of front disc brakes and power brakes provides improved stopping performance and safety, especially important given the increased power of the V8 engine. An upgraded steering gear further enhances drivability, making the car easier and more predictable to handle compared to its original factory configuration. Additional usability improvements include turn signals, which are not always present on older classics, but are essential for safe operation in modern traffic environments. These upgrades indicate that the car has been thoughtfully adapted for real-world driving rather than being preserved strictly as a showpiece. Inside, the vehicle features a good interior and good glass, suggesting that the cabin is in presentable condition and the visibility components are intact and functional. While not described as a high-end luxury restoration, the interior appears clean, usable, and consistent with a well-maintained driver quality build. The seller emphasizes that this is an old-school car, and that description aligns closely with its overall character. It is not an over-restored trailer queen or a heavily modernized restomod. Instead, it represents a balanced approach, classic styling combined with essential upgrades that make it enjoyable to drive without stripping away its vintage identity. With approximately 99,999 miles reported, the odometer reading likely reflects either the vehicle's long life or a mechanical rollover, which is common in older cars. In either case, the focus is clearly on current condition and drivability rather than precise mileage history. At an asking price of $31,500 with a clean Tennessee title in hand, this 1936 Ford 5-window coupe sits in a competitive segment of the pre-war hot rod market. It offers a strong combination of classic styling, upgraded performance, modern comfort features like air conditioning, and improved safety systems. Overall, this Ford represents a well-rounded vintage cruiser that stays true to its old-school roots while incorporating just enough modern convenience to make it practical for today's roads. It is the kind of car that can be driven, enjoyed, and appreciated without requiring a trailer or constant mechanical attention, which is exactly what many classic car enthusiasts look for in a usable hot rod. Number 3. This 1952 Chevrolet Coupe, currently listed at $19,500, is located in Mineral, Virginia. Some classic cars are built to be museum pieces. Others are built to be driven, enjoyed, and experienced on the open road. This 1952 Chevrolet Coupe clearly belongs to the second category, a well-used, well-built street rod that has been enjoyed regularly and maintained with care. At first glance, the car carries the familiar early 1950s Chevrolet Coupe silhouette. The rounded fenders, smooth body lines, and silver exterior give it a classic yet slightly worn-in patina character that the seller personally appreciates. Rather than chasing a perfect show car finish, this build embraces a more lived-in style that reflects real road time and enjoyment. Under the hood sits a 350 cubic inch Chevrolet V8, a staple of the hot rod world. This particular engine is described as cammed and equipped with roller rockers, meaning it has been upgraded for improved airflow, efficiency, and performance. The result is an engine that doesn't just run. It announces itself with a strong, aggressive sound that the seller proudly describes as awesome. Backing the engine is a turbo 400 automatic transmission, one of the most respected heavy-duty automatics ever produced. Known for its durability and ability to handle high horsepower, the TH400 is a popular choice in street rods that prioritize both performance and reliability. The rear end features a 10-bolt positive traction setup with 4.10 gears. This combination provides strong acceleration and improved traction, making the car feel lively and responsive when power is applied. It's the kind of setup that transforms a classic cruiser into a genuinely fast street machine. Up front, the car has been upgraded with Mustang front suspension, a modification that significantly improves steering feel, ride quality, and overall drivability compared to the original factory design. This upgrade is one of the most common and effective improvements found in restomod and street rod builds. The seller notes that the car is fast, smooth, and drives straight, which is exactly what you want from a performance-oriented classic. It's not just built for looks, it's built to be used on the road several times a week. Inside, the interior is described as being in great condition, suggesting a clean and comfortable cabin that complements the car's overall usability. While the exterior may show its age with patina-style character, the interior remains a strong point of the build. Mechanically, the car is largely solid, with no reported rust in the floors or trunk area. That's an important detail for any vintage vehicle, as structural integrity plays a major role in long-term ownership and safety. Like many older builds, there are a few minor issues noted. The fuel gauge has been replaced, but the sending unit appears to be faulty, meaning the gauge does not accurately show a full tank. However, this is described as a minor inconvenience rather than a major mechanical concern. Recent maintenance has also been performed, including new header gaskets installed in May 2026, showing that the vehicle is still actively maintained by its current owner. What makes this Chevrolet especially appealing is its honesty. It is not presented as a flawless, show-ready restoration. Instead, it is described as a well-built, well-driven street rod that has been enjoyed regularly and remains mechanically strong. Imagine taking this coupe out on a weekend drive. The Cam V8 rumbles through the exhaust, the transmission shifts smoothly through the gears, and the car pulls strongly through open roads. It's not about perfection. It's about fun, sound, and feel. At $19,500, this 1952 Chevrolet Coupe offers an accessible entry into the world of traditional street rods with real performance upgrades and a proven drivability record. This isn't just a classic Chevrolet sitting in a garage. It's a driven, enjoyed, and well-built street machine that delivers exactly what it promises: an exciting, fast, and character-filled driving experience. Number 4. This 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe, currently listed at $4,000, is located in Stokesdale, North Carolina. Every classic car collection starts somewhere, and often it begins not with a finished showpiece, but with a project that still carries the potential to be brought back to life. This 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe is exactly that type of vehicle, a restoration project waiting for the right builder to revive it. The early 1950s marked an important transition period for Chevrolet, as the brand moved into a more modern post-war design language. The 1951 Deluxe reflects that era with its rounded body lines, simple yet elegant styling, and unmistakable American sedan proportions. Even in non-running condition, it still carries the charm that made these cars so popular in their time. According to the seller, this particular example is equipped with a 216 cubic inch inline-six engine paired with a 3-speed manual transmission on the column. The 216 engine was a staple of Chevrolet's lineup during this period, known for its simplicity and durability rather than performance. It powered millions of Chevrolet vehicles in the early 1950s and remains an important part of the brand's mechanical history. While the vehicle does not currently run, the seller notes that the engine turns by hand, which is often considered a positive sign in the restoration world. It suggests that the engine is not seized and may still be rebuildable, depending on inspection and condition. For many restoration enthusiasts, that alone is enough to make a project car worth considering. This particular Chevrolet Deluxe sedan, 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe, is described as having significant restoration needs, including floor pan repairs. Rust in structural areas like floor pans is common in vehicles of this age, especially if they were not stored in ideal conditions over the decades. However, the presence of a clean North Carolina title adds value and simplifies the legal side of a potential restoration. At just $4,000, this Chevrolet sits firmly in the entry-level range for classic car projects. Vehicles in this category often appeal to hands-on builders, hobbyists, or enthusiasts who enjoy the process of bringing a neglected classic back to life over time. While it requires work, it also offers a blank canvas with strong historical character. Imagine this Chevrolet after restoration. The once faded black, paint refinished, the chrome restored to its original shine, and the interior brought back to life with period-correct materials. What is now a stationary project could eventually become a cruising classic that reflects both its original 1950s heritage and the effort invested by its future owner. Even in its current state, the car still tells a story. The simple dashboard layout, the column shift manual transmission, and the classic Chevrolet body design all reflect a time when automobiles were built with mechanical straightforwardness and long-term serviceability in mind. For many enthusiasts, projects like this are not about immediate enjoyment. They're about vision, seeing beyond rust, wear, and non-running condition to imagine what the car can become. That transformation is often where the real satisfaction of classic car ownership begins. At its asking price, this 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe offers an accessible entry point into that experience. It is not a ready-to-drive cruiser, but rather the foundation of what could become a fully restored vintage Chevrolet sedan. In the end, this car represents opportunity more than condition. It is a reminder that even the most weathered classics can still hold value, not just in metal and parts, but in the potential they offer to be rebuilt, reimagined, and returned to the road once again. Number 5. This 1937 Buick sedan, currently listed at $11,000, is located in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. This classic Buick represents a well-preserved example of pre-war American automotive luxury, from an era when Buick was known for building refined, smooth-running vehicles that balance performance with comfort. The 1937 Buick sedan carries the elegant, flowing design language of the late 1930s, with rounded body lines, prominent chrome accents, and a commanding road presence that still stands out nearly a century later. Finished in blue with a tan interior, this example is described as a really nice driver, suggesting it is not a static showpiece, but a usable classic that has been enjoyed on the road. Vehicles from this era that can still be driven to car shows and cruises are increasingly appreciated by collectors who value functionality as much as originality. Under the hood, this Buick is powered by its legendary inline straight-eight engine, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. The Buick straight-eight engines of the 1930s were known for their smooth operation and quiet power delivery, earning the brand a strong reputation for engineering refinement during this period. Even by modern standards, the straight 8 configuration remains an impressive piece of mechanical design due to its long, smooth-running nature. According to the seller, this vehicle has a long family ownership history and was originally sold new in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. That type of provenance adds historical value and emotional significance, especially when a vehicle has remained within the same family for many years before entering the broader collector market. The car was restored years ago and has been stored indoors, which is an important factor in preserving classic vehicles. While it is described as an older restoration, the fact that it has been kept inside suggests that it has been protected from harsh weather and environmental damage, helping maintain its structural integrity and overall presentation. The seller also notes that the vehicle was recently driven to a car show, reinforcing its status as a functioning driver rather than a non-operational project. In the classic car world, the ability to participate in events under its own power is often a strong indicator of mechanical usability and reliability. One of the appealing aspects of this Buick is its balance condition. It is not a heavily modified hot rod, nor is it a deteriorated project car. Instead, it exists in the middle ground as a preserved, older restoration that still retains its classic character and roadworthiness. Driving a 1937 Buick sedan is a very different experience from modern vehicles. The steering is more mechanical, the engine response more deliberate, and the overall driving feel more connected and analog. These characteristics are part of what makes pre-war cars like this so appealing to enthusiasts who enjoy the raw, unfiltered nature of early automotive engineering. The seller mentions openness to offers or possible trades, indicating flexibility in negotiation. This is common in the collector car market, especially for older classics where value can vary depending on buyer interest and condition interpretation. At $11,000, this Buick sedan offers a relatively accessible entry into pre-war American luxury ownership. While it is not a fully modernized or restored show car, it presents a usable, historically significant classic that can still be driven and enjoyed. Ultimately, this 1937 Buick sedan represents a preserved piece of American automotive history. With its straight-8 engine, long family ownership history, and road-ready condition, it stands as a reminder of an era when automobiles were built with craftsmanship, presence, and enduring mechanical character. Number 6. This 1946 Ford Super Deluxe, currently listed at $18,800 in Rock Hill, South Carolina, is a remarkably preserved post-war classic that stands out for its originality, authenticity, and time capsule presentation, offering a rare glimpse into immediately post-war American automotive design. The 1946 Ford Super Deluxe comes from a historically significant transition period in automotive production. After World War II, manufacturers like Ford Motor Company resumed civilian car production using pre-war designs that had been temporarily paused during wartime manufacturing. As a result, early post-war models such as this one closely resemble their pre-war predecessors, featuring flowing fenders, upright proportions, and a simple yet elegant design language that defined American cars of the mid-1940s. What makes this particular example especially notable is its strong emphasis on originality. According to the seller, the car remains largely unrestored and retains its original paint, interior, and matching number engine and transmission. In a collector market where many vintage vehicles have been heavily modified or fully restored, an unrestored example with documented originality is increasingly rare and highly valued by enthusiasts who prioritize authenticity over modernization. Mechanically, the vehicle has undergone restoration work using original Ford parts, ensuring that while the car has been maintained and refreshed for drivability, it still preserves its factory-correct engineering. It is powered by a 100-horsepower inline engine paired with a 3-speed manual transmission, a configuration typical of Ford's mid-1940s production lineup. This setup delivers a traditional driving experience that reflects the mechanical simplicity of the era. The seller highlights that all gauges and accessories are functional, including the optional radio, clock, and heater. These features were considered luxury additions at the time and contribute to the vehicle's appeal as a well-equipped example of its generation. The inclusion of fully working period accessories enhances its time machine character, allowing modern drivers to experience the car much as it would have felt when new. One of the strongest aspects of this Ford is its condition. The body is described as all steel with no rust, rot, or filler, which is particularly significant for a vehicle of this age. Many surviving examples from the 1940s suffer from corrosion or structural repairs, making a solid, rust-free body a major advantage for long-term preservation. The exterior retains its original blue paint, which the seller notes remains in very good condition for a vehicle approaching 8 decades in age. Rather than a heavily polished restoration, the finish appears to emphasize authenticity and historical character, reinforcing the car's identity as an original survivor rather than a fully rebuilt showpiece. Inside, the gray interior maintains its period-correct appearance, complementing the exterior and preserving the original design language of the super deluxe trim level. The cabin reflects the simplicity and functionality of mid-1940s American automobiles, where comfort was present but secondary to mechanical reliability and straightforward design. Driving this Ford is described as a smooth experience for its era, with the 3-speed manual transmission and 100 horsepower engine providing adequate performance for relaxed cruising. While it is not designed for modern highway speeds or aggressive driving, it offers an authentic representation of how cars performed in the immediate post-war period. With only 2 owners reported over its long lifespan, this Ford also benefits from a relatively stable ownership history. Fewer ownership changes often correlate with better preservation, as long-term owners tend to maintain vehicles more carefully and preserve original components whenever possible. What sets this super deluxe apart is its identity as a preserved survivor rather than a modified or heavily restored vehicle. In the collector car world, originality can often be more desirable than restoration, especially when the vehicle retains its factory drivetrain, body integrity, and period-correct features. In the end, this 1946 Ford Super Deluxe is far more than a vintage automobile. It is a genuine automotive time capsule that preserves the look, feel, and mechanical character of the immediate post-war era, offering enthusiasts an authentic driving experience that reflects Ford's original engineering philosophy from one of the most important transitional periods in automotive history. Number 7. This 1951 Buick Special sedan, currently listed at $14,000 and located in Gallipolis, Ohio, is a restored mid-century American classic that highlights Buick's signature smooth-riding engineering and distinctive post-war styling, paired with its well-known Fireball inline-8 engine. The 1951 Buick Special represents an important era in General Motors design, when American manufacturers were refining larger, more comfortable vehicles for the growing post-war market. Buick in particular built its reputation on ride quality, durability, and understated luxury, and the Special sedan reflects those values through its long, flowing body lines, bold chrome accents, and balanced proportions. Finished in black with a gray interior, this Buick presents a timeless and formal appearance that suits its character as a mid-century family luxury sedan. The color combination enhances its classic identity, giving it a dignified look that remains appealing even decades after production. Under the hood is Buick's famous Fireball inline-8 engine, a 263 cubic inch power plant producing approximately 120 horsepower. Known for its smooth operation and quiet performance, this engine was one of Buick's defining features in the early 1950s. While not designed for high performance by modern standards, it was engineered for effortless cruising and reliability, delivering a refined driving experience that prioritized comfort over speed. The seller notes that the vehicle runs well, indicating that the drivetrain is functional and has likely benefited from restoration work. The addition of new rear shocks significantly improves ride comfort, which is particularly important in a vehicle designed around Buick's reputation for smooth suspension and highway stability. The Buick Special was originally engineered to provide a comfortable, floating ride experience, and this example appears to maintain that characteristic. The suspension tuning, combined with the inline-8 engine's smooth power delivery, creates a driving feel that is relaxed and steady rather than aggressive or sporty. With approximately 83,544 miles reported, this vehicle appears to have seen moderate use over its lifetime, although the restoration work suggests that it has been maintained and refreshed to remain roadworthy. Mileage in vehicles of this era often reflects long-term usage rather than precise documentation. So overall condition is typically a more important indicator than the odometer reading. The seller's description emphasizes that the car is a restored example, which is an important distinction in the classic car market. Restored vehicles typically benefit from refreshed mechanical systems, improved reliability, and enhanced drivability compared to unrestored survivors, while still retaining their original design and character. Inside, although not heavily detailed in the listing, the gray interior likely maintains the Buick's traditional mid-century layout, which would have included spacious seating and a focus on passenger comfort. Buick interiors of this era were known for their roomy cabins and thoughtful design, aimed at making long-distance travel as comfortable as possible. At an asking price of $14,000, this 1951 Buick Special sedan represents a relatively affordable entry into the world of post-war American luxury classics. It offers a combination of restored condition, smooth-running inline-8 power, and Buick's well-earned reputation for ride comfort. Overall, this Buick is a classic example of early 1950s American automotive design philosophy: elegant, smooth, and built for comfort. It is not a high-performance muscle car or a heavily modified hot rod, but rather a refined cruiser that showcases the engineering priorities of its time. For enthusiasts who appreciate originality, smooth driving dynamics, and vintage American luxury, this Buick Special delivers a genuine and enjoyable classic driving experience. Number 8. This 1941 Mercury two-door street rod, currently listed at $18,000, is located in Lizella, Georgia. This classic Mercury represents the early 1940s American coupe design, a period when automotive styling was transitioning towards smoother lines and more refined proportions. Originally built as a pre-war vehicle, this example has since been transformed into a street rod built for modern driving comfort and reliability. Finished in a deep burgundy exterior with a gray interior, the car carries a clean and understated look that fits perfectly with its classic silhouette. The two-door configuration gives it a sporty and streamlined appearance, which has always made early Mercury coupes popular among hot rod builders. Under the hood sits a Chevrolet 350 cubic inch V8 engine, one of the most widely used and trusted power plants in the custom car world. Known for its strong aftermarket support and dependable performance, the 350 V8 provides a solid foundation for a reliable street rod build. Power is delivered through a 700 R4 automatic transmission, a popular overdrive unit that allows for both strong acceleration and comfortable highway cruising. This combination makes the car not only enjoyable around town, but also capable of longer drives at modern highway speeds. The seller notes that the vehicle is equipped with power steering and power disc brakes, two important upgrades that significantly improve drivability and safety compared to original factory equipment. These enhancements make the driving experience far more relaxed and manageable, especially for a classic car of this age. Comfort has also been addressed with the addition of air conditioning and heat, making this Mercury suitable for use in a variety of weather conditions. The inclusion of climate control is a valuable upgrade that increases usability without compromising the car's vintage identity. According to the listing, the body is solid with no rust, and the paint presents well. That combination is especially important for a vehicle from this era, as rust is one of the most common issues found in early 1940s American steel-bodied cars. Inside, the car is described as having a clean interior, suggesting that the cabin has been maintained or refreshed to complement the rest of the build. While the focus of many street rods is on performance and exterior styling, a well-kept interior plays a major role in overall driving enjoyment. With approximately 5,000 miles reported on the build, this Mercury appears to have been lightly driven since its conversion into a street rod. That typically indicates a relatively fresh build or a vehicle that has been carefully used as a weekend cruiser rather than a daily driver. What makes this car particularly appealing is its balance of classic style and modern convenience. It retains the distinctive look of a 1941 Mercury coupe, while benefiting from upgrades that make it easy to start, drive, and enjoy without the complications of vintage-only systems. Imagine cruising through town in this burgundy street rod. The V8 delivers a smooth, confident rumble. The air conditioning keeps the cabin comfortable, and the power-assisted controls make every turn effortless. It delivers the charm of the 1940s with the ease of modern driving. At $18,000, this 1941 Mercury Street Rod offers a strong combination of affordability, drivability, and classic American styling. It is the kind of vehicle that appeals to enthusiasts who want vintage character without sacrificing comfort or reliability. This is not just a restored Mercury. It is a thoughtfully upgraded street rod built for enjoyment on today's roads, while still preserving the spirit of its original era. Number 9. This 1948 Chevrolet Style Master, currently listed at $15,500, is located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The late 1940s Chevrolet Style Master represents one of the most recognizable post-war American designs, with its rounded fenders, simple chrome accents, and balanced sedan proportions. It reflects a time when Chevrolet was helping redefine everyday transportation in the United States, transitioning from wartime production into a new era of civilian automotive design. This particular example has been transformed into an older-built street rod, blending its original vintage body with modern mechanical upgrades designed to improve drivability and performance. Finished in gray with a matching gray interior, the car presents a clean, understated appearance that suits its classic styling while allowing the modifications to speak for themselves. Under the hood sits a Chevrolet 350 V8 engine paired with a matching transmission, one of the most popular combinations in the street rod world. The small block 350 is widely respected for its reliability, availability of parts, and strong performance potential, making it a natural choice for classic car conversions like this. The seller notes that the vehicle has been upgraded with a Nova front suspension and rear setup. This type of modification is commonly used in street rod builds because it significantly improves handling, ride quality, and braking performance compared to the original 1940 suspension system. It also allows for better compatibility with modern components, making the car more practical for regular driving. Additional upgrades include power steering and power brakes, both of which greatly enhance ease of operation. These improvements are especially important in older vehicles, where factory steering and braking systems often require more physical effort from the driver. With these modifications, the Style Master becomes far more approachable in modern traffic conditions. This particular Chevrolet Style Master Street Rod, 1948 Chevrolet Style Master, also features a tilt wheel and a clean North Carolina title, adding convenience and documentation value to the package. While the listing is brief, the mention of these upgrades suggests a focus on usability and comfort rather than strict originality. Imagine this Chevrolet rolling down a quiet road at sunset. From a distance, it retains the timeless silhouette of a late 1940 sedan. As it gets closer, the subtle custom modifications become more apparent. The slightly lowered stance, modern wheels, and refined driving posture hinting at the mechanical upgrades beneath its vintage exterior. Inside, the gray interior continues the theme of simplicity and functionality. Street rods like this often aim to preserve a classic aesthetic while quietly improving the driving experience behind the scenes. The result is a car that looks like it belongs to another era, but drives with far more confidence and ease. On the road, the Chevrolet 350 V8 provides smooth, reliable power. Paired with the upgraded suspension and power-assisted systems, the car is likely much more comfortable and predictable than it would have been in its original configuration. This combination makes it suitable for weekend cruising, local shows, or relaxed highway driving. At an asking price of $15,500, this Style Master sits in an accessible range for enthusiasts interested in entering the street rod hobby without undertaking a full build. Given the cost of sourcing a classic body and completing similar modifications independently, a finished example like this can represent significant time savings. In the end, this 1948 Chevrolet Stylemaster is more than just a vintage sedan with upgrades. It is a bridge between eras, preserving the charm and identity of post-war Chevrolet design while incorporating mechanical improvements that make it enjoyable in the modern world. Whether appreciated for its style, driven for leisure, or used as a starting point for further customization, it reflects the enduring appeal of the American street rod tradition. Number 10. This 1937 Ford sedan, currently listed at $36,500, is located in Marietta, Georgia. This classic Ford represents one of the most iconic body styles of the pre-war era, a design that has remained highly respected among collectors and hot rod builders for decades. The 1937 Ford sedan carries the smooth, flowing lines and rounded fenders that defined late 1930s American automotive styling, giving it a timeless presence that still turns heads today. Finished in red with a gray interior, this example has been transformed from its original configuration into a simplified and performance-focused hot rod build. Rather than remaining a factory-correct restoration, it has been updated to deliver modern drivability while still preserving its unmistakable vintage silhouette. Under the hood, the vehicle is powered by a Chevrolet 350 cubic inch V8 engine paired with a 350 automatic transmission. This combination is one of the most widely used setups in the hot rod world due to its reliability, availability, and strong performance characteristics. It replaces the original drivetrain with a more powerful and easier-to-maintain modern V8 configuration. The Chevrolet small block engine has long been a favorite among custom builders because it offers a strong balance of horsepower and durability while remaining relatively simple to service. Paired with the turbo 350 automatic transmission, the drivetrain delivers smooth acceleration and dependable street performance, making the car far more practical for regular driving than its original 1930s mechanical setup. Although detail modification notes are limited in the listing, the presence of a swapped drivetrain indicates this Ford has been built with usability in mind rather than strict originality. This type of build is common in the hot rod community, where classic bodies are paired with modern powertrains to create vehicles that are both visually historic and mechanically updated. With approximately 1,000 miles reported since its current configuration, the vehicle appears to have been lightly used in its modified state. That typically suggests a relatively recent build or refresh, meaning the components may still be in the early stages of real-world use. The 1937 Ford sedan is especially popular in the custom car scene due to its proportions and design language. Its rounded roofline, sweeping front end, and balanced body shape make it an ideal candidate for hot rod conversions, street rods, and restomod builds. Even with modifications, it retains its instantly recognizable classic identity. Driving a vehicle like this offers a blend of old and new. While the exterior maintains its vintage pre-war appearance, the mechanical upgrades provide significantly improved performance, making it more suitable for modern roads and highway speeds compared to its original factory configuration. At $36,500, this 1937 Ford sedan sits in the mid to upper range of custom hot rod pricing, reflecting both the desirability of the body style and the inclusion of a modern V8 drivetrain. While not a numbers-matching restoration, it appeals to enthusiasts who prioritize drivability and classic styling over strict originality. Ultimately, this 1937 Ford sedan represents a traditional American hot rod philosophy. Take a timeless pre-war design, update its mechanical heart, and preserve its iconic exterior character. The result is a vehicle that bridges generations of automotive culture, offering both historical presence and modern performance in a single package. Number 11. This 1947 Chevrolet Fleetline, currently listed at $25,000 in Cumming, Georgia, is a classic post-war American fastback sedan that has been modified into a simplified street cruiser with a modern V8 drivetrain, blending iconic Chevrolet styling with updated performance. The 1947 Chevrolet Fleetline belongs to the immediate post-war generation of American automobiles, a period when manufacturers like General Motors were reintroducing civilian vehicles after World War II production delays. The Fleetline's distinctive fastback, roofline, and rounded body design made it one of the most recognizable Chevrolet models of the late 1940s, and it remains a favorite among collectors and custom builders today. This particular example appears to have been modified for drivability and performance rather than restored to original factory condition. Under the hood sits a 350 cubic inch Chevrolet V8 engine, one of the most widely used and respected engines in the classic car and hot rod community. Known for its durability, availability of parts, and strong performance potential, the 350 V8 significantly modernizes the driving experience compared to the original inline-six or early post-war engines that would have come in this vehicle. The engine is paired with an automatic transmission, which further enhances ease of operation and makes the car more accessible for relaxed cruising. This combination of small block V8 power and automatic shifting is one of the most common and practical upgrades in Restomod builds, offering a balance between classic styling and modern usability. Finished in a turquoise exterior, the Fleetline maintains the smooth, flowing aesthetic that defined Chevrolet's late 1940s design language. The fastback roofline is one of its most distinctive features, giving the car a more aerodynamic and sporty appearance compared to traditional three-box sedans of the same era. Even in modified form, this silhouette remains a strong visual highlight and a key reason why the Fleetline continues to be popular among custom car enthusiasts. While interior details are not extensively described in the listing, the Fleetline's cabin would originally have emphasized simplicity and practicality, consistent with post-war Chevrolet design philosophy. In many Restomod builds like this, interiors are often upgraded over time to include more comfortable seating, modern gauges, or improved audio systems, although such modifications are not specified here. With approximately 100,000 miles reported, this Chevrolet reflects a vehicle that has seen long-term use and likely multiple phases of ownership and modification. Unlike fully restored show cars, this type of build typically prioritizes drivability and enjoyment over strict originality or concours-level restoration standards. The overall presentation suggests a straightforward custom build focused on getting a classic body onto a reliable, modern drivetrain. The 350 V8 engine swap is especially significant, as it transforms the Fleetline from a period cruiser into a capable street car that can comfortably keep up with modern traffic conditions. For enthusiasts, the Chevrolet Fleetline is particularly appealing due to its unique styling. The fastback design gives it a more dynamic profile than many of its contemporaries, and when paired with a V8 swap, it becomes a strong candidate for a weekend cruiser or local show car. In the end, this 1947 Chevrolet Fleetline is more than just a modified post-war sedan. It is a classic American fastback that has been upgraded with a proven small block V8 and automatic transmission, creating a simple yet effective Restomod that blends vintage Chevrolet design with dependable modern performance. Number 12. This 1940 Chevrolet Business Coupe, currently listed at $32,500 and located in Rising Sun, Indiana, is a fully frame-off restored American classic that blends pre-war styling with reliable later-model mechanical components, creating a well-sorted cruiser with both show history and strong sentimental value. The 1940 Chevrolet Business Coupe is one of the most distinctive body styles of the pre-war era. Designed with a long hood, flowing fenders, and a shortened rear deck, the Business Coupe was originally intended for traveling salesmen who needed a stylish yet practical vehicle. Today, that same design is highly valued in the classic car world for its elegant proportions and strong hot rod potential. Finished in burgundy with a tan interior, this example presents a warm and classic color combination that enhances its vintage character. The coupe silhouette gives it a sleek and slightly aggressive stance, while still maintaining the smooth, rounded styling cues that define Chevrolet's pre-war design language. According to the seller, this vehicle underwent a full frame-off restoration, meaning the body was completely separated from the frame and rebuilt from the ground up. This type of restoration is one of the most comprehensive approaches in the classic car world, typically involving complete disassembly, refurbishment, and replacement or rebuilding of nearly every major system. The seller emphasizes that no corners were cut and that every nut, bolt, and screw was addressed during the build, reflecting a high level of attention to detail. Under the hood, the car is powered by a 305 cubic inch Chevrolet V8 engine sourced from a 1973 Nova. This engine includes a mild camshaft upgrade, which improves performance and drivability while maintaining reliability and street usability. Paired with a TH350 automatic transmission, the drivetrain is a well-known and widely respected combination in the hot rod community, valued for its simplicity, durability, and ease of maintenance. The use of later-model Chevrolet components, such as the Nova drivetrain, brings significant advantages in terms of parts availability and real-world reliability, making the vehicle far more practical to own and drive compared to a strictly original pre-war setup. Mechanically, the car has also received extensive upgrades to its braking and suspension systems, both of which were fully rebuilt during the restoration. These improvements are essential in a vehicle of this era, ensuring safer handling and more confident stopping power compared to original factory specifications. One notable comfort upgrade is the inclusion of vintage air conditioning, which provides modern climate control in a classic 1940 body. This feature significantly increases the usability of the vehicle, especially for longer drives or warmer climates, without detracting from its vintage appearance. The interior has been fully customized, giving the car a more personalized and refined cabin environment. While original business coupes were relatively utilitarian inside, this restored version elevates comfort and aesthetics while still respecting the vehicle's overall classic character. Additional updates include new wheels and tires, a new battery, and new ignition components such as plugs and wires. These types of fresh maintenance items are important in ensuring reliability, especially for a car intended to be driven and enjoyed rather than stored as a static showpiece. Historically, this vehicle also carries documented success in the show car circuit. The seller notes that it is a cavalcade winner and also earned recognition at the Carl Casper Show in Louisville. These awards suggest that the build was not only comprehensive but also well-received in competitive automotive environments, where craftsmanship, presentation, and detail are closely evaluated. Another important aspect of this listing is its personal history. The car was described as the pride and joy of the seller's father, who invested significant time, money, and care into its restoration. This emotional background often adds another layer of meaning to classic cars, as they become not just mechanical projects, but family legacies. Powered steering and brakes are noted as manual, meaning the car retains a more traditional driving feel, which many enthusiasts appreciate for its authenticity. Combined with the upgraded drivetrain and suspension, it offers a balanced experience between vintage character and modern usability. At an asking price of $32,500, this 1940 Chevrolet business coupe sits in the upper mid-range of the classic coupe market, justified by its full frame-off restoration, award history, modern drivetrain, and added comfort features such as air conditioning. Overall, this Chevrolet represents a carefully built Restomod classic that successfully bridges two worlds: the timeless styling of a 1940 pre-war coupe and the dependability of later Chevrolet mechanical engineering. It is a vehicle designed not just to be admired, but to be driven, enjoyed, and remembered, carrying both craftsmanship and family legacy in every mile. Number 13. This 1939 Ford Coupe Standard, currently listed at $37,750, is located in Loganville, Georgia. This classic Ford represents one of the most recognizable pre-war American coupe designs, a body style that has long been admired for its rounded proportions, split grille, and timeless hot rod potential. In this case, the vehicle has been taken far beyond its original factory configuration and transformed into a fully upgraded street-ready classic. According to the seller, this is a frame-off restoration, meaning the body was removed from the chassis during the rebuild process. This type of restoration is typically considered one of the most thorough approaches in the classic car world, allowing nearly every component to be inspected, repaired, or replaced. Under the hood sits a Chevrolet 350 cubic inch V8 engine paired with a 350 automatic transmission. This combination is one of the most widely used setups in the hot rod community due to its balance of performance, reliability, and parts availability. It ensures the car has enough power for highway driving while remaining easy to maintain. Fuel delivery is handled by a brand new Holley 600 CFM carburetor equipped with an electric choke, improving cold starts and overall drivability. Holley carburetors are well known in performance circles for their tuning capability and consistent fuel delivery under a variety of conditions. The chassis has been significantly upgraded with an S10 frame swap, a popular modification among custom builders. This upgrade modernizes the suspension geometry, improves ride quality, and enhances overall handling compared to the original 1939 setup. Combined with upgraded suspension components, the result is a far more stable and comfortable driving experience. Power steering and power brakes have also been added, along with front disc brakes. These improvements make a dramatic difference in safety and drivability, allowing the vehicle to perform confidently in modern traffic conditions. For a car originally designed in the late 1930s, these upgrades bring it into a completely different level of usability. At the rear, an 8-inch Ford differential provides a durable and reliable setup capable of handling the output of the V8 engine. This is a common and trusted choice in street rod builds due to its strength and compact design. Inside, the car features bucket seats, offering a more modern and comfortable driving position compared to the original bench seat layout. While the interior retains a custom and simplified appearance, the focus remains on functionality and driving enjoyment. The seller describes the vehicle as having a very smooth ride, which is a strong indicator that the suspension upgrades and frame modifications have been executed properly. This is especially important for vehicles that have undergone significant structural changes. With approximately 1,939 miles reported since the build or restoration, this Ford appears to have been lightly driven, likely serving as a weekend cruiser or show vehicle rather than a daily driver. That low mileage suggests the car remains in fresh, well-preserved condition. The exterior is finished in blue with a white interior, a classic color combination that enhances the vintage character of the car while maintaining a clean and bright presentation. The body lines of a 1939 Ford Coupe are especially well suited to custom builds, and the color scheme highlights those curves effectively. What makes this vehicle particularly appealing is the balance between traditional styling and modern engineering. It still looks like a late 1930s Ford, but underneath it benefits from decades of automotive advancement in suspension, braking, and drivetrain technology. Imagine taking this coupe out on a weekend drive. The V8 engine delivers smooth, consistent power. The upgraded suspension absorbs road imperfections with ease, and the car responds confidently to steering input. It offers the visual nostalgia of the 1930s with the comfort and drivability of a modern machine. At $37,750, this 1939 Ford Coupe Standard represents a well-executed frame-off street rod build with significant mechanical upgrades and classic American styling. This is not just a restored vintage Ford. It is a thoughtfully engineered restomod designed to be driven, enjoyed, and appreciated on today's roads while preserving the spirit of its original era. Number 14. This 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air, currently listed at $15,000, is located in Hendersonville, North Carolina. The mid-1950s marked a major turning point for Chevrolet, and the Bel Air quickly became one of the most recognizable names in American automotive history. By 1954, the Bel Air represented a blend of post-war optimism and growing design sophistication, with more refined styling, improved comfort, and upgraded features compared to earlier models. This particular example is finished in blue with a gray interior, a color combination that fits well with the calm, classic personality of early 1950s American sedans. Even today, the Bel Air's design stands out with its chrome accents, rounded body lines, and unmistakable vintage proportions that reflect a simpler era of automotive design. Under the hood, the vehicle is equipped with a 6-cylinder engine that has been converted to a 12-volt electrical system. This upgrade is a common and practical modification for classic cars, as it improves reliability and allows for better performance of modern electrical components while still maintaining the vehicle's original mechanical character. The car features a 3-speed manual transmission with a column shift, often referred to as 3 on the tree. This setup was standard in many mid-century American vehicles and adds to the authentic driving experience that classic car enthusiasts appreciate. It requires more driver involvement than modern transmissions, reinforcing the mechanical connection between driver and machine. Additional details include electric windshield wipers, another useful upgrade that improves usability compared to older vacuum-operated systems commonly found in cars of this era. These small enhancements suggest that the vehicle has been thoughtfully updated to improve drivability without losing its vintage identity. This particular Chevrolet Bel Air, 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air, is being offered at a reduced price from its original listing, now positioned at $15,000. The seller clearly states that the car is not available for trade and emphasizes that the listing remains active as long as it is visible, which is a common way of indicating firm sale intent. Imagine this Bel Air cruising down a quiet road on a warm afternoon. The blue paint reflects softly in the sunlight. The chrome details catch subtle highlights, and the classic silhouette immediately draws attention from anyone nearby. It is the kind of car that does not need to be fast or modern to make an impression. It simply relies on timeless design. Behind the wheel, the experience is straightforward and nostalgic. The column shift manual transmission engages with a mechanical feel that connects the driver directly to the car's movement. The upgraded electrical system ensures more reliable operation, while the simplicity of the engine keeps the driving experience authentic and uncomplicated. At an asking price of $15,000, this Bel Air represents an accessible entry point into classic Chevrolet ownership. It is not a high-end show car or a heavily modified restomod, but rather a well-maintained vintage cruiser with practical upgrades that make it enjoyable to drive in today's world. In the end, this 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air is a reflection of early American automotive culture, simple, elegant, and built for everyday enjoyment. With its combination of classic styling, mechanical authenticity, and thoughtful updates, it continues to embody the lasting appeal of one of Chevrolet's most iconic nameplates. Number 15. This 1954 DeSoto Firedome, currently listed at $1,000, is located in Danville, Pennsylvania. This listing is less a traditional car sale and more of a dismantled opportunity in the classic Mopar world. The DeSoto Firedome was once part of Chrysler's mid-century lineup, known for its bold styling, upscale trim, and early adoption of V8 power. Today, surviving examples are increasingly rare, especially ones retaining key original components like this one. According to the seller, this vehicle is being used primarily as a parts donor. That immediately places it in a different category from typical restoration candidates. Rather than being sold as a complete, roadworthy car, it is being gradually disassembled, with certain components already removed and sold. One of the most significant details is that it originally came equipped with a 276 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine. Early Chrysler Hemi engines are highly regarded for their engineering and historical importance, marking the beginning of the legendary Hemi lineage that would later dominate performance car culture. However, in this case, the engine is described as locked up, meaning it is currently seized and not operational. Despite that, the seller still offers it separately, which may interest engine rebuilders or collectors seeking original components. The car's interior is noted as having possibly been restored at some point in its life, suggesting that at least parts of the cabin may still retain usable or restorable elements. For classic Mopar enthusiasts, interior trim, gauges, and seating components from this era can be difficult to source, which adds value even in a dismantled vehicle. However, the most important context for this listing is that it is actively being parted out. The seller explicitly states that they are removing components for resale, and several major parts have already been sold, including the grille, front passenger door, seats, and rocker trim. This significantly reduces the completeness of the vehicle and indicates that its value now lies in individual components rather than restoration potential. In the world of classic cars, vehicles like this often serve as critical donors for restoring other examples. Even when a car is no longer viable as a full project, its surviving parts can help preserve or complete other DeSoto fire domes or related Chrysler-era vehicles. The DeSoto fire dome itself holds an interesting place in automotive history. Introduced in the early 1950s, it was part of Chrysler's effort to expand its lineup with stylish, performance-oriented vehicles positioned between Plymouth and Chrysler-branded models. Its bold chrome, styling, and V8 power helped define the American automotive design language of the era. At $1,000, this listing reflects its current state as a partial shell and part source rather than a complete restoration project. The value here is highly dependent on what remains available and the condition of the surviving components. For collectors or builders working on a DeSoto restoration, this vehicle could still offer important salvageable pieces. However, for someone seeking a full classic car project, it would require significant additional sourcing and investment to rebuild into a complete automobile. Ultimately, this 1954 DeSoto Fire Dome is no longer a complete classic. It is a dismantled piece of automotive history being carefully stripped for parts. Its significance now lies not in what it is as a whole, but in what fragments of it may live on in other restorations.